This is Greg Frank is Burning with your host, Greg Frank.
Hello again. You guys know me as Greg Frank, and this is episode 1 of Greg Frank is Burning. As you know, if you watched my welcome video, we start with a segment called The Kickoff, where we'll get you caught up with the new stuff happening in sports right now. So I want to jump right in. We're going to start this show with the NBA Finals. You guys have probably heard that the Los Angeles Lakers are playing the Orlando Magic, and Orlando Magic star point guard Jameer Nelson could be coming back. In early February, he tore his labrum in a game against the Dallas Mavericks in Orlando, and was supposed to be out for the season. But after Orlando upset the Cleveland Cavaliers, there have been rumors now floating around that Jameer Nelson could be back for this NBA Finals series. So, what does this mean? Well, if he comes back, it's a big boost for Orlando, because he gives them something that they haven't had for a good part of this season. And that would be, he was their leading scorer in both of their games against the Lakers, both of which they won. So, he's not going to be 100%, but having Jameer in the lineup would definitely help Orlando. So, we'll get to more about the NBA Finals in Frank's featured topic. We're going to move right into the Stanley Cup Finals now, where after 3 games, the Detroit Red Wings lead the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1. Just my thoughts coming into the series. My prediction was that the Detroit Red Wings would win this series in 7 games. However, after watching Detroit go up 2-0, my thoughts changed a little bit, because when I looked at the schedule, I saw that there was back-to-back games, Saturday, Sunday, over the past weekend in Detroit, and I figured that would favor a young Pittsburgh team playing an injury-prone Detroit team where Pavel Datsyuk was out for the first couple games of this series. So I thought that might favor Pittsburgh, and they might be able to come out of Detroit with a split. That didn't happen. So after 2 games, it's 2-0. We head back to Mellon Arena last night, where the Penguins posted a 4-2 victory to make the series 2-1. Now, as most of you know, this is a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Finals, and so far, the first 3 games have been exactly like the first 3 games of last year. Detroit was up 2-1 and had taken the first 2 in Detroit, but then Pittsburgh won the 3rd game. Just something of note. I believe the Pittsburgh Penguins are lucky to be in this situation right now, because their star, Sidney Crosby, has not scored a goal in the first 3 games of this series, yet they still have won a game. And if you look at the Penguins' prior series, like I'll go back to when they played the Washington Capitals, Crosby was scoring a lot of their goals, and they ended up winning that series. Now, Crosby's not scoring, and they're not in a position that they would like to be in. I think that if Crosby could have helped them out a little bit more, they could very well be ahead in this series 2-1. Most of you have heard that Mr. Michael Vick has been reinstated and by Commissioner Roger Goodell, and now his next goal will be to find a team. Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator Cam Cameron said this about the Vick situation. Quote, "If you have a guy who has been in the league, he's probably had to learn a few different systems and schemes, so there are plenty of things he can probably do." Are the Ravens going to go out and get Michael Vick? I'm not sure. I don't think he's a good fit there. You look at, they just drafted the quarterback, Joe Flacco, and he seems to be progressing as a quarterback. So I don't know if the Ravens are going to be able to make that move. But I will give you my thoughts on the situation and some possible landing spots for Mike Vick. One of which is in Denver, where he will play for the Denver Broncos. Reason is that, as we all know, Denver in the offseason traded their star quarterback Jay Cutler, and it was becoming a drama as he was very angry with the situation at hand. He was traded to the Chicago Bears, and the main guy that they got was Kyle Orton from the Chicago Bears, along with a couple picks and a couple other players. Kyle Orton is also a quarterback. He is not nearly as good as Jay Cutler was, and nor has he proven himself to be a good quarterback in the National Football League. So, what I'm saying here is that Mike Vick could be a good fit in Denver. They got a new coach, Josh McDaniels, and, if he adds a quarterback, who knows? Maybe he is in Denver. Another place where I think Vick could land is San Francisco. You look at the 49ers, they have had problems at the quarterback situation, to say the least. Let's just go over their QBs. Alex Smith, former number 1 overall pick, has not lived up to potential. Another one, Sean Hill, hasn't been that great. Throws lots of interceptions. Nate Davis, 171st pick in this year's draft out of Ball State. And Damon Heward, who spent time as a backup in Kansas City with the Chiefs. So, if any of those 4 names didn't impress you, I wouldn't be surprised if the San Francisco 49ers go out and get Michael Vick. We're just going to have to see how it all plays out. Well, on the Major League Baseball note, Roy Halladay last night won his 9th game against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in Toronto. This now leads the American League, and Halladay has thrown, his numbers are quite impressive. He has a 2.77 ERA, his record is 9-1, and he has thrown 2 complete games. On the other hand, we have Zach Greinke, who has also had quite a season with the Kansas City Royals, and is a very good story. He is 8-1. His ERA is 1.10, which leads the American League, and he has thrown 5 complete games, and struck out 88 batters, compared to Halladay's 82. So, what I wanted to bring up here was, who will start the All-Star game for the American League? It is a good question, because Halladay, this is territory he's been in before. He wins a lot of games every season, whereas Greinke, not so much. He's been a decent pitcher, but this year he's on fire. So, I look for Greinke to start because his numbers are a little bit better, and now let's remember, fans don't pick the pitchers. So it's not necessarily a popularity contest. I think the coaches of the American League team will look hardly at what Greinke has done and select him to start the All-Star game. However, had it been a fan vote, probably would have been Halladay, because he's a name that I'm sure more people know. That just about does it for the kickoff. Coming up in Fred's featured topic, I will have a full breakdown of the NBA Finals along with my prediction.